Today we're going to take a look at these coins which I picked up from my local coin shop. Alright, so it's February 2022, and for the first time I had a chance to visit my favorite coin shop in Nashville. And the first thing that he had that I had never seen before were Nashville transportation tokens. And this one is listed as the Nashville Coach Company. Earlier than that, it was the company was known as Southern Lines, but this is good for one school fare. So I guess at one time, public buses were used to get children to school, I guess. Well, these apparently were made in 1953, and I guess he had a whole bucket of these, and in retrospect, I guess I should have gotten one that wasn't as corroded as this one. He had there's a box of about 30 or 40 of these, and so it is something new that that I had never seen before, so I'm glad to pick it up. He also has a box of crown size coins, and it's usually filled pretty high full of the British crowns, such as the Princess Diana crown or the Silver Jubilee or the anniversary of Philip and Elizabeth marriage, but this one was a little bit different. Always glad when he has crowns from somewhere other than Britain. This one is going to be from New Jersey, and let me pull this one out of the flip. Did I say New Jersey? I meant to say New Zealand. And first thing I noticed about it is this is a portrait of Queen Elizabeth that we usually don't see very often. I've seen it on a couple of New Zealand crowns, but she has a tiara that I think was a gift from, I think it's a Queen Annabelle from Russia, I think is the story behind it. So it's an 1800s tiara that was given as a gift for this crown. And the denomination is actually going to be a $1 coin. And so the name of the bird on here is the fantail. So the engraver who designed this coin also designed this portrait of the Queen. So that's one of the reasons why we have a portrait of the Queen that is usually not seen. And from what I can tell, this coin was never meant to circulate. You can tell it's not in perfect condition, but I think these originally were sold as part of complete mint sets, or you could purchase it by itself for, I think at the time you could buy this for about $5. And I got it cheaper than that. Well, of course, I didn't pay for it with New Zealand dollars. I paid for it with US dollars. But yeah, this dealer's box of crowns, usually he charges $3 per coin. Next up, I looked through his silver junk bin. Most everything he had this time was Canadian, and a lot of that is something that's already pretty common to me, so I didn't pick up too much. But he does do it by weight, and I got these 3 coins over on the side as for pretty much just their spot price. And I think I paid $8 for these 3 coins. This one is obviously in rough shape as far as well-worn is concerned. George V, but it is from Newfoundland. The C and cent in the S are definitely well-worn, but this is, as you can tell, from 1917, and as I check my notes, KM17. This is sterling 92.5 silver with a silver value of 0.1734 ounces. Or that would be the silver weight. When I made the purchase, they actually have a TV showing the spot price in their store, and he looked up, and right at that moment it's $22.50. So yeah, it had gone down about $3 since the last time I was in that store. Next up, we have another Canadian quarter. This one is going to be of George VI. Again, nothing too rare, although I didn't particularly have this coin. From 1952. Once they changed to 80% silver, the numbers were a lot easier to calculate. When it was new, this coin would have 0.1500 ounces of silver. And then the third coin that I also purchased, another one of George VI. As it turns out, I did have this one, so it's This will go in my silver reserves, but from 1946. Although it possibly might be an upgrade in my collection. The 80% silver Canadian dime has 0.0600 ounces of silver in it, at least if it was new. So this particular store has one of the best bargain coin bins, and when I say best, I mean as far as quality of what you're going to find in it. It's I don't know, I wouldn't know if I would call it completely unsearched, but he also charges 50 cents per coin. Now sometimes he gives me a deal, and I think he gave me a deal yesterday because I have 24 coins here, and that would be at 2 for $1, that'd be $12, and the receipt just had the total price. I think I ended up, that would have been $12, but I think he gave me maybe a $3 discount on that. So I think I paid $9 for everything that you see on here. But as I said, he has some of the nicest coins, and they really have only been picked through by other people who go into the store and buy from them. So the ones in the top row are coins that I picked up purely because the exchange value is so good on them, and which I think makes them pretty good for trade pieces. None of them are particularly rare. We have the 2 franc from 1989 from Switzerland, and the Swiss franc is actually worth more than the US dollar, and this is a design that hasn't changed in over 100 years, so it's not particularly rare or anything like that, but it's worth more than $2 in just exchange value. Next up, from Germany, we have the 5 mark. I think you can still trade in German marks, but I'm not sure about that. I think the mark was worth about half of a US dollar. So again, this is going to be about $2.50, but not something that you can easily pick up very often. Then we have a British £1 coin. Obviously rough shape, but again, I like to pick these up. And for the British pound, they had a series of maybe 8 or 12 designs that they rotated through. So every year was something different. And then by the time you come up with new portraits of the Queen, pretty much every year was a different coin. So I did not have this one, as it turns out. I would have bought it whether I had it or not, but I'm glad to at least get one that is new to my collection. And so it's got the design here that shows the crown over the 4 different parts of the United Kingdom on here. You've got Northern Ireland represented with the harp, and I forget which one's Scotland, which one's Great Britain, which one is Wales, but because all of them have different types of lions in them. But just an exchange value, that's about $1.25, and that's what, in rough shape, that's what the coin is worth there. Next up, another one that probably easier for us to find here in America. It's the Canadian toonie, the original one with the polar bear. Dates back to 1996, which I think was the first year that they made these. And I already had a few of these, but in exchange value, it's worth about, I don't know, $1.70 or so. And again, makes pretty good exchanges. Next up, I have so that's all of the ones that I bought purely for exchange value. To show that I wasn't only going out there looking for the things that I could get top dollar for. On the other end of the spectrum, we have these 1 and 2 euro cent coins from Greece. And of course, since it's Greece, on their side of the coin that they design, they call it the lepta in the Greek alphabet, just so they can identify it, perhaps. But I like how these were in really nice condition, and so in exchange value, this is about 3 cents in U.S. value. But they're also new to my collection, I think. I haven't gone back and double-checked yet, but as you can tell, this side, nothing different than any others. The 1 cent is pristine, and the 2 is good, not great, but not perfect. But I wanted to pick those up as well. Let's see, we had from countries that you don't see very often. We have, they're going to call it Sao Tome and Principe. We would call it St. Thomas and Prince. This area was a dependency of Portugal. So it's going to say Portugal on, or Portuguesa on that side. This was a one-year coin from 1962. And 50 centavos, KM 17.1. 17.2 is when they made this in another year. They made the coin actually a little bit larger. But again, this is practically uncirculated condition, has a book value of $3.25. So even though I'm paying 50 cents per coin on here, you see that I'm getting some really good things. Another rare country that you don't see very often is going to be this coin, George VI, King and the Emperor. And I believe that side is up because the crown would be facing up. This one's going to be from Southern Rhodesia. Now, eventually that became just Rhodesia, and then they made other coins for Rhodesia and Nyasaland, and now the area is Zimbabwe. But back when it was Southern Rhodesia, I did have a couple of other coins from this country of Southern Rhodesia, but this is going to be KM8. And in this condition, the coin's worth $2. So another really nice pickup. Now, back in the day when silver was $4.50 an ounce, and I would used to go over there to the score quite often, it was easy to find silver coins in his box back when they were 25 cents each. But that doesn't happen very often anymore. But I do have a silver coin on here. I'm just curious, by me talking right now, if you can find it. And I'm only going to give you about another 10 seconds to try and guess which one is the silver coin. And if you said the one right here, you would be correct. And we've got ourselves a silver golden from the Netherlands with Queen Juliana on it. They kept this design in the copper nickel form for probably another 2 decades after they stopped making it in silver, but this is 1956. This one is going to be 72% silver, so 0.1504 ounces average silver weight. As it turns out, I already had this coin. This one might be an upgrade, but with an exchange value of $3.40, it would be, I'll make that trade all day long, pay 50 cents for that coin. And I got lucky, so I just beat everyone else to it. Next, let's take a look at a couple of Mexican coins. This is the 5 peso in exchange value. That's about a quarter. But I actually see more of the 10s than I do of the 5. And I just decided I want to pick up another one. Almost certainly I already had it, but I think they look neat. Some of these coins I pick up just to improve the collections that I sell on eBay, which I don't do very often, but that one is probably going to be something I sell. This next one is almost certainly going to be an upgrade for a coin that was already in my collection. A 10 centavos from 1959 in uncirculated condition. And this one has a book value of $1.25. In exchange value, that is less than worthless today. Next, I'm going to show 3 coins that I picked up from the 1800s, the late 1800s. And we're going to start with this coin from Nicaragua. Unfortunately, it is damaged. So if you look at it, it's been dented about right there. If you look at it sideways, maybe it doesn't look so bad sideways, but this is going to be a coin from Nicaragua, and they still use this kind of triangle design even until today with the triangle. You've got the cap with the rays coming off of it over the 5 mountains. This is going to be it's not silver. It's 5 centavos from 1898. This is a 1-year coin. They made a different 5 centavos coin in 1899. So kind of hard to give a book value on a damaged coin like that, but I'm going to write down 75 cents. Next up, we have from Japan. I believe the large character in the middle is the number 5, but it takes away the guesswork on this side where it actually spells out for us 5 sen using characters that we can recognize. So there's the 5, there's the character for sen, and 100 sen make up a yen. But as we come back to this side, they put the date. They don't put the date of the year, but they put the date of the reign of the emperor. And we have a 2. The plus is for 10, so 2 tens and a 2. Year 22, which was the first year they made this coin, in 1889. This coin in this condition is worth $4.50. One final late 1800s coin, and we have this Helvetia, that is Switzerland, and this is a 2 Rappen coin from 1893, and I would say the details are quite nice on this one. I don't know if I'd grade that very fine, extra fine, exactly where to define this one, but there we have the number 2 from KM 4.2, and this coin has a book value of $6. So the Swiss coins always do well for me. Next, we're going to look at 3 coins I picked up from India. 2 of them are 1-year commemoratives, but not this one. This one is going to be a 20 paisa from 1969. KM 564 on that one. And none of these 3 coins are going to have a large book value. As it turns out, they made this one for about 5 or 6 years, and this is the one of the 3 that I did not have, despite the other 2 being made for only 1 year. Next up, we have this scalloped edge aluminum 10 paisa coin from 1975. I think it celebrates International Women's Day, so it says equality, development, and peace. And then on this one, this 50 paisa coin, you see the number 25 at the top, and on the right it has the dates 1947 through 1972. So this celebrates the 25th year of independence from Britain. And it's going to be a 50 paisa coin. So unfortunately, I already had those last 2 coins, but hey, they make for good trade pieces. This next coin obviously has been turned into jewelry, and not that long ago because it was minted in 2020. But I have 2 or 3 of the modern Malaysia coins, but I don't have the 50 sen. And I was willing to pick this up. Eventually I'm going to pull that little ring out of the bottom. But I didn't have one that had this design, and it's kind of this actually does look more like a jewelry piece. There's really, it's nothing but art on this side. I could see why someone would want to turn this into jewelry, even though it ruined the coin. But I thought that was pretty neat. Next up, we have a Greek aluminum coin. It looks like that scratch looks worse on camera than it does just holding it, because otherwise this looks like it's in uncirculated condition. But we have a 20 lepta coin from, what was the year in this one? 1973. And book value 50 cents on this one. I got that one as an upgrade to an existing coin in my collection. Next we have a bimetallic coin from Thailand. So we have the king, I think it's King Rama, who we see on these coins for many, many years. And so this was their first bimetallic coin, I believe. So they used this design for about, I think it was about 15 years, although eventually in the late 90s, I think they started to make commemorative coins where they had a different design every year, but this was the first one. And I've mentioned it before, I always find it interesting when a coin has so many details that they actually put clouds in the sky. So on either side of the main pinnacle of the tower on here, there's soft clouds kind of etched into it. I think that's an interesting design. Next up, we have a coin from Czechoslovakia that predates World War II. And some of these designs they used for a while, even though the name of the country changed every so often. This one is called the Republic of Czechoslovakia, and I think they kept this design even when they were a socialist country, but we turn it over, and it is a 1 koruna. Now, they may have been a republic, and I don't know my history all that well, but they are holding a sickle in here, so I don't know if that relates to Soviet or not. I guess I should go back and learn more about European World War II history, but using a sickle to cut off some wheat, I suppose. This might be the most boring coin that I picked up, Republic of Colombia from 1977. This one is a 2 pesos. I just didn't remember having it, but I did have it. And it might actually be an upgrade over the one that I had in my collection, because those get very well worn. Next, we're going to have a coin from Nepal. I have it upside down here. And of course, I don't recognize any of the characters on here, so when I get a coin from Nepal, I have to just go into my book until I can find it. As it turns out, this one is a 50... Let's see, trying to read my notes here. A 50 paisa. And when you look at the date here, there's a 2, there's a 0. It looks like this is from the year 2093. And that is not the case. For starters, they draw their number 1 like the number 9. So that really has a date of 2013, but also they use a different calendar than us that is a few decades ahead of us. This coin was actually made in 1956. And this was a design for a half rupee 50 paisa coin that lasted for about a decade. We started with a token, and we're going to end with a token. This is the last coin that I picked up in this lot. And this is identical on both sides, so I'm just going to show this side because it actually looks better. This is from Pinellas County, Florida. And this is a transportation token to cross the Belleair Causeway. And I'm a little bit familiar with Pinellas County. That is where you're going to find St. Petersburg and Clearwater. But you're also going to find Belleair Beach. So the Belleair Causeway is a bridge that connected the mainland to the island with Belleair Beach. And on a token like this, it's not always easy to figure out a value of it other than looking at eBay sold listings, which isn't really the best way of going to inexpensive items just like this. But I thought this was a neat pickup. So not including that last token, the book value of this pile of coins that I paid maybe $12, maybe I paid $9 for it, the combined book value is $31 off of all this, and some of that's from foreign exchange values. One of it is from silver, and some of it was from the nice coins from the late 1800s. So that also did not account for the silver or the this $1 New Zealand coin that I paid $3 for it, but the book price appears to be $4.50 on it these days. All right, so I hope you liked this video, and if you did like it, I'm going to come back and keep making more videos of other times that I pick up some coins. We've got a couple of coin shows coming up in the next couple of months that I'm going to head out to, and hopefully be able to make some videos out of that content. And I've also got some bulk lots that I've uploaded recently that I'm going to have in this channel. So if you haven't seen it before, I'm going to link here at the end to the CMID-TN Foreign Coin Showcase playlist, where you can find all other kinds of videos like this, where most of the time I'm just going through random coins that I've added to my collection. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.